Welcome to This Week in Jacksonville Plus. This is something for our streaming viewers in addition to the conversations from our show that airs at 9 a.m. Sundays on Channel 4. So this is special content and you'll only see it here on News 4 Jax Plus. State Senator Tracie Davis represents Jacksonville and offered her opposition to the new 6-week abortion ban.
Last session, this body voted to implement a 15-week abortion ban. And so this body has come back to implement a 6-week abortion ban. And so with a few exceptions to incest and rape. So that basically is the bill.
We know that this is something that the governor has said he'll sign. It's not necessarily that he's pushing it, but we see it both in the House and the Senate that it's coming. What are your feelings on it? We saw a statement this week. You said you're trying to oppose it.
Oh, absolutely. Completely opposed to it. This bill that we're about to vote on and pass here in the state of Florida is a complete government overreach. We had probably 75 speakers. After the meeting, my caucus and I stayed even longer to listen to make sure that all of the speakers were able to educate, speak on the topic, and just inform us of the dangers that are about to happen. We probably had about 20 medical professionals, OBGYNs in the audience, and just giving us information about the differences between gestational age and fetal age, and just the criminal penalties that are in this bill, along with the fact that they now are in between. Do I look at the penal code, or do I refer to my medical directions and my medical instructions when I'm about to perform an abortion, because the criminal penalties are so severe? You're talking about someone deciding whether to perform an abortion, a safe legal medical procedure, versus risk their license or risk their medical position. So it's really, really important for folks to know how we've criminalized our medical professionals, and how this bill simply endangers our medical professionals and our moms and their babies, because it takes such a drastic approach to a safe, legal medical procedure that simply should be a decision the woman makes with her family and her doctor.
Less than a year ago, we saw this play out kind of on the national stage. What happened at the Supreme Court with that ruling that impacts Roe versus Wade and what have you. Is Florida leading on this topic, or is it a response to what's going on nationally?
I have to say it's a response to what's going on nationally. And we're not leading, but we're definitely in the top 5 of states that are just going to these drastic measures instead of continuing to allow a safe, legal medical procedure to be performed by our medical professionals. But instead, we have real issues that our Floridians are dealing with every day: property insurance, gas prices, homeowners trying to deal with our housing affordability issue here in the state. And instead of dealing with issues like that, really dealing with those issues, we are just implementing more bans on families and moms and medical professionals that are simply dangerous.
Senator, I saw your reference that the bill, and you talked about it a moment ago, there are some exceptions for rape, abuse, and incest, but you're saying that's not enough to help protect women. Why?
Absolutely not. I mean, when you are listening to women come to the podium and talk about their decisions and how personal that decision was, and how it was, they were thankful to be in a state at that time that allowed them to make that personal decision with their doctor. And then after those statements, you hear OBGYNs come up and say how, those exceptions are great: rape, incest, abuse, those are great exceptions. But there are other things that may happen. And now when an abortion outside of being a safe legal procedure is medically necessary, now they're in the in between, second guessing themselves whether I perform this medically necessary procedure that should be safe and legal, or do I refrain from it and not do it at all? Along with the fact of now performing this procedure, women have to have 2 written notices from two physicians. So 2 doctors have to sign off on this safe, legal medical procedure. So it's just so much in this bill that just makes it a huge no for me and a huge disappointment for women just being able to make their own decisions about their health care and decisions about their body with their doctors.
What's your view? Where is the line in the sand on when abortion should not be a viable option unless there are health ramifications for the mother and that sort of thing? Because we've shifted now in Florida to 15 weeks now, the 6 weeks. What's the right length of a term of pregnancy before an abortion shouldn't happen volitionally?
If I have to decide, I would say the 15 weeks was definitely more palatable than where we are now. The conversations and the comments we had yesterday, we heard over and over and over, and I personally believe it. You know, within 6 weeks, a lot of ladies don't even know they're pregnant. So now you are talking about 6 weeks, not knowing you're pregnant and being banned from making that medical decision and having an abortion. It's just not a great length of time. If anything's more palatable, it would have been the 15 weeks to just allow the woman to even know that she's pregnant. Right now, 6 weeks doesn't even allow for that. And so we will have women, and it was said over and over in committee yesterday, we will not be able to stop abortions, no matter what period of time we put on it. But when we have 15 weeks, at least there's a safety factor, because abortions will continue. But now you're sending women into the avenue of getting illegal, unsafe abortions.
You can watch for more in-depth interviews just like this one. It's in addition to our show that airs at 9 a.m. Sundays on Channel 4. And again, this is special content. You're only going to see this here on News 4 Jax Plus.